Don Lemon is back with us, along with Shimon Prokopez there in New York City. Don, it's good to see you. What's happening right now?
Yeah, it's sadly this is. I fear that this has become or may become the new normal. We're still standing outside and waiting. I'm waiting to get the all clear to be able to go back up, if possible, to my studio and control room. The folks are there because the people who were evacuated from the posts that we need to get on the air, and so we need to make sure that I can get on the air properly before they send us back upstairs. But there's still some police presence out front, but just a short time ago, maybe about 10 minutes ago, maybe 15, we got the all clear to go back into the building. The bulk of the folks who work here at the Time Warner Center have been able to go back into the building. And just to give you an idea of how big this building is, it's not just CNN that's in this building. There are a number of other different businesses, including some of our sister businesses, True TV, TNT, TBS, and all of that. But there are other businesses here as well. 55 floors in this building. It's 700 feet tall, so it's quite a big building, and it takes up an entire city block here. Shimon Prokopez, who is our crime and justice reporter, has been working with the NYPD, his sources as well, getting information. They certainly took this seriously, as they always will, but they were in the building for quite some time. And in order for them to evacuate a media company in a building like this.
That is a big undertaking for the NYPD, and that's not something that probably a decision that they made lightly, because they had to know that we were on the air here at the time that they were going to evacuate. But clearly there was something that concerned them greatly. To do this kind of an evacuation on just a phoned-in bomb threat is not something that the NYPD takes. It's not a decision they take lightly. So clearly they were very concerned here, given the climate, given the history, given what we have been through already with those other package bombs, the one that was mailed here to us in New York, and then also the one in Atlanta. So that was all on their mind when they went ahead and made this decision to evacuate. Look, it's not often that the NYPD evacuates buildings like this because of phoned-in bomb threats.
Yeah, and when you think about again, they said it came from the south.
Yeah.
And if they had that information, they probably know specifically where it came from. And usually in these situations, people think that they're being funny and they can they'll get away with it.
Crime,
this is a federal crime, and they usually get caught.
They usually get caught. Look, there have been many stories like this of people doing these kinds of things from other parts of the world. Like there was a guy in Israel who was doing phoned-in bomb threats, causing all sorts of disruptions, and that person was captured. It was, remember, the schools and that were getting threats. So these kinds of things, the FBI will investigate and will try and prosecute people if once they figure out who's behind this, because it causes panic, it causes concern, it creates fear in people, especially given what our staff, our fellow employees here, our co-workers have been through already when we had that first evacuation and when they found that bomb in the mailroom just right through these doors here. So, this is going to be an investigation. I know that the NYPD intelligence, their analysts are on this, the intelligence division is working this, and probably the FBI. You're seeing more police officers coming out now. And so, they're essentially over. For now, this is over, but the investigation is going to just begin.
Well, the evacuation part of it is over, but the investigation part, as you said, will continue on. But can you imagine what this does to the people who work in this building? Again, you think that, this is CNN, and there may be some people at home going, this is great, the CNN was out. But it's not just CNN. It's a number of people who work in this building. It's people who live in the area, people who will be concerned about their safety. Can you imagine it? It's not even that. It's as if when we were leaving the building, I'm sure what was going through everyone's head was going through mine. What am I going to do? What happens if a bomb actually goes off and I'm in this building? What am I going to tell my family? What's going to happen with my family? Who do I need to call first? What do I need to tell them? Those are all real issues. And again, I fear that this is going to become the new normal.
Well, and especially when you have this kind of response and you're seeing the person who called this in is getting exactly the response that they wanted, is getting the reaction you were forced off the air, Don. You were forced to. Your staff was forced out of the control room. Folks were forced to leave the building. We had to go off the air. We had to go into programming. There's a lot that this.
And this costs. Taxpayers are paying for this. Are paying for the police
response, right? And then also the businesses here in the Time Warner Center right next door. This is the third or fourth time probably in the last 2 months that they've been evacuated. Yeah. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to these businesses. There are restaurants in this building. People were out for dinner who probably have to leave their tables in the middle of dinner because of something like this. It's a hoax, right? But it causes a lot of problems.
But we walked into a restaurant and there were people there. Some of them, the people who were there had to stay. The other people who wanted to go into the restaurant and have dinner that night or have drinks in the bar or go to the hotel. Maybe they had reservations. Maybe they're here for an event. They couldn't get to it.
Right, because the police closed off the street.
Because the police closed off the street.
And they wouldn't let anyone in. And, we couldn't leave the street because if we left the street, then we couldn't get back in. So there was a lot of concern by the police here. Look, I mean, they did what they had to do here. And it could be the new norm. You're right. I mean, it's scary.